Uh, Good afternoon, students. Yesterday we have discussed the same topic, but before going to the unit, we will see the syllabus of the first unit. The first unit name is the simple stresses and strain. Syllabus for the first unit. Okay, unit 1 consists of syllabus is the stress and strain definitions. In that we will look at the tensile stress and tensile strain, compressive stress and compressive strain, and shear stress and shear strain. And next we will going to see the Hooke's law, modulus of elasticity, modulus of rigidity, stress strain diagram for ductile and brittle material, working stress and factor of safety, principle of superposition, stresses in composite bars, thermal stresses, and strains in simple and composite member, linear and lateral strains, Poisson's ratio, volumetric strain, bulk modulus, interrelationship between the elastic constant. Okay, the first topic, before moving to the syllabus, we will see some basic definition. That is, what is equilibrium of any system. Equilibrium of any system of force which keeps the body at rest is said to be the in equilibrium. When the condition of a body is unaffected even though it is acted upon by number of forces, it is said to be equilibrium. Okay, any body, if suppose it is in equilibrium, means the external acting force and the internal resisting force is become zero. So when the both forces, internal resisting force and external force, become balanced, then the body is said to be a equilibrium. So analytically there are some conditions. F of x means sum of the horizontal forces is equal to 0. The algebraic sum of the component of all forces along the x direction must be equal to 0, and y direction also must be also equal to 0. Sorry, along y axis. The forces acting along y axis must be 0. And the EM is nothing but the moment of inertia. Here E is nothing but the summation. Okay, the summation, okay, E is nothing but summation of m equal to 0. Summation, actually it is written by like this, but I didn't get that symbol. This is a summation of all horizontal forces along the x is equal to 0, right? Same as it is summation of Fy means all component of force along the y-axis must be equal to 0, right? So the it is also moment equal to 0. Next we will see what is rigid body. Rigid body means it does not move. The particles of rigid body does not move after applying a force. It does not change its shape. Okay, that is nothing but the rigid body. Actually the rigid body doesn't exist in the world, but it is the assumptions. We should assume the rigid bodies exist. How we can define the rigid body means, here it is defined as a body the particle of which the fixed in position related to the one another, even when subjected to a number of forces. Rigid body do not deform when subjected to a system of forces. Means it doesn't change the shape, okay, after applying a force. Next we will look at deformable body. Means when the body is subjected to the number of forces, it get into the change in shape. Means it will get into deformed by the actual size. Okay, that is nothing but the deformable body. As it is written in this okay points you see here, as already discussed, no body is perfectly rigid. Already I told that in it is the assumptions, we will assume the body is rigid, but actually it is not possible that we have a rigid body here. No body is perfectly rigid. Even every body deforms slightly under the action of force, Change in size and shape of body due to the external forces is called the deformation. Even the brittle material also deform before breaking little bit. Concept stress. Okay, what is stress? Okay, here by figure you will see here. This is the one member which is applied by a force, that is P. P is pulling force here. Okay, pulling force. When the body you subjected to the pulling force, internal of body, I have cutted that body into X section. Okay, the X section is the cutted section. Okay, and under the body, the how the force is acting, see here. The P opposite to the P is resisting force is under creating the resisting force. That resisting force is equal to the applied force. Applied force is nothing but the external force is equal to the internal force. So the body is up to the limit, it will be a equilibrium. So here it is called the stress. How can we define? Means it is the axial force. Okay, means the force is acting along the line. Okay, axial force. Equal and opposite forces is acting, means here the when you are subjecting any body to the external load, means it should be a equal and opposite nature. Okay, in magnitude. So how can you define? Consider a bar of elastic material having a length L and cross-sectional area A subjected to an axial tensile load P as shown in figure. Okay, under the action of the tensile load P, the bar will deform, means here when you subjecting a body under the force, pulling force, the body is get deformed. Okay, and its length will increases. Here the length increased I didn't shown in the figure, but delta L is increased. Okay, after applying force, this deformation in increase in length is raised by the internal force, which is uniformly distributed over the cross section XX. The process of deformation is continued till the internal resisting R is equal to the an external applied load P. If the internal force R is unable to resist this deformation fully, the deformation continued till the failure takes place. The internal resistive force to deformation per unit cross sectional area is called as stress. Okay, means here what they are saying means the resisting force, up to resisting force the body will not deform. Yeah, when it will crosses the resisting force, the body will tends to elongate until it doesn't failure. Okay, so this is called the stress. See, let we see the unit of stress. As we know, the in simple way I can define the stress is resisting force per unit area. Resisting force we will measure the unit of resisting force. Force, any force you, if you take the unit of your force is Newton, and the unit of area is meter square. So here SI unit of stress is Newton per m meter square. Okay, the SI unit for stress we can say the Pascal. 1 Pascal is equal to the 1 Newton per meter square here. Okay, next concept of strain, plane strain. Okay, when a load is applied to a body of elastic material, its shape is altered. This alteration in member is called the strain. The strain is simply measure of the deformation produced in a member by the load acting on it. It is defined as the ratio between the change in length to the original length is called the strain. Okay, it is denoted by the E or F naught, S long. Okay, in simple way, you can define the strain as change in length to the original length. See here the size of the member before applying a force or load. Okay, then you have to take the ratio between the change in length. After applying a force, what the dimension you get now, that should be ratio to the original length, the change in length to the original length, where E is means x long is nothing but strain. Here 8L, how to correction is there, 8L not, that is 8L, it is delta L, means increase in length, change in length of a body. L delta, how you can write delta, you will write like this, delta L, okay, and L is the original length of the body. Axial stress and axial strain. Before going to the strain, you came to know the what is stresses and what is strain. But here axial is nothing but the center of a body is nothing but the axis, where the load is acting at the center of a body, that is nothing but the axial stresses and axial strain. So here how in big definition how they are defined, let me see here, the stresses produced due to the axial load are called the axial stresses, and the corresponding strains are called the axial strain. Here the types of the stresses we will see and types of the strain. There are two types of axial stresses in strains, tensile stress and tensile strain. Okay. What is tensile stress? First we look here, tensile stress. Here it is a member. Tensile is nothing but you should keep in mind 2 points. Whenever you define a tensile stress means it should have the equal magnitude. First point is equal magnitude, means here also 15 Newton, here also 15 Newton is acting, equal in magnitude, but opposite in two equal and opposite forces two equal, and second point is opposite forces is acting here in tensile force, okay, tensile stress. Okay, this nature you should have to maintain here. Okay, next we can define here what is the internal of the member. There is a resisting force, it resists the external force, so the resisting force is nothing but the tensile stress. Here the body is elongated along the longitudinal direction. Longitudinal direction means in x direction, and lateral direction it will decreases, like lateral direction is nothing but y direction. It will decrease in lateral direction and elongate in longitudinal direction. See, when two equal and opposite pulse force applied to the body tends to elongate it, the body is said to be under the tension, and the stress induced in it is called the tensile stress. And the corresponding strain means strain is nothing but change in length to the original length. So here that member change in length means here the body which will elongate along the longitudinal direction, that is nothing but the tensile strain. Okay, next point, what is compressive stress and strain? Okay, compressive stress is nothing opposite to the tensile stress or tensile strain. What happens means here member is subjected to the pushing force. When the object is pushed by the external force, means the object is get reduced in the longitudinal direction, and it will get increased in the lateral direction, so opposite to the tensile stress. So let we see here the figure for the compressive stress. So here you will look at here in a figure, it is a compressive stress. Here also the same magnitude, equal magnitude, whatever I just writing the 15 Newton. Okay, it whatever you take here 40 10, but on opposite side also the same magnitude it should possess. Okay, and next point is equal magnitude and opposite, here not opposite direction, to equal and opposite pulse, not opposite pulse, opposite push. Here push force is applied. Okay, push force. In before this we have stated that tensile stress, there is a pulling force is applied, here pushing force is applied. So let's we see the definition of the book sentence. When two equal and opposite push forces applied to the body tends to shorten it, the body is said to be under the compression, and then the stress induced in it is called the compressive stress, and the corresponding strain is called the compressive strain. Okay, Next, here what the dimension is increased in lateral direction, it is increased by the delta d plus delta d, but it is reduced in the longitudinal direction, that is L minus delta L. Okay, keep in mind these points. Next, concept of shear load. Shear is nothing but it is a tangential force acting. The force is acting along the tangential. Okay, that is nothing but the shear load. By the book definition, you can see here the load or force which acts parallel or tangential to the plane under the consideration is called the shear load. Shear force or shear force or shearing force, normal forces, that is the tensile or compressive act across the area, whereas a shear force act along the area. Okay, along the area. By figure you can understood this one, but here next I will show the figure for the shear stress and shear strain. Before going to shear stress and strain, here some book definition is there. When the section of a body is subjected to the two equal and opposite forces, but here the force is acting in a shearing force, it is not a axial force. Okay, it's not a axial force. In previous two cases what we see, the tensile and compressive stresses, in that the axial force is applied, but in this case you not going to apply a axial force. Okay, so here because of tangential load only it will slides over the one another part. Okay, that is nothing but the shearing force. By diagram you can understood this one. See here, two plates are there, it is connected by the rivet, two pulling forces are there. Okay, this is the rivet, this is the rivet, this is the rivet, this is the rivet. There are two plates is connected by the rivet. Okay, the force which is pushing force is acting not axial. Okay, it is the load which is acting on the plates is not a axial. Okay, so it is tangential to the surface of two plates. Okay, it's rubbing, so it is called the shear force. It gets shearing. Okay, so in three plates also the same thing, two plates are pulling, it's not axial force. Okay, same the definition of we will see. Oh sorry, I want this one. Here you will look at the definition of the shear truss. A rivet of diameter d, it is not a definition, it is explanation. A rivet of d connecting two plates A and B and subjected to two shear forces P acting tangentially. The force is acting tangentially, okay, to the plane XX. In this case the rivet may shear along the plane. You should have to remember the difference between the tensile, compressive and shear. In tensile axial load is applied, in compressive axial load is applied, in shear force it is tangential force is applied. Okay, the difference between the tangential force. Okay, here and again the same, it is also in same in magnitude. it is also same in magnitude. Um okay, next we will look at the definition if it is possible to see. Shear strain, see, look at the shear strain here. Here there is a block and it is fixed at the x below end, bottom end is fixed to the ground, and we are applying a force in the upper direction, so it get tilted by the, before it is like this, and after applying a force it get converted like this, it is tilted. Okay, so this is not by the shear strain. So here shear strain, how you are going to define means, consider a cube of side L, um, two equal and opposite forces P on the top and bottom forces. If the bottom force AB is fixed, the cube ABCD will be distorted to ABC dash D dash along an angle 0. It means to say, here I did mention here, see here, it is a and B, C and C and D. Okay, before applying a force to the block, the name of the block is ABCD. After applying a force, it became A and B. It is C dash here, and it is get treated by the D dash. So that's it. Here it is explained. Okay, shear strain. So next we will see here. This is a torsion strain, torsional shear strain. Okay, it is applicable in a rods. It is twisted like a cloth. After washing a cloth, in our Indian culture, the humans are twisting their clothes. Okay, the twisting force is nothing but the torsional shear strain. In the figure you look at here, before applying a torque, the D is here. I have made a point on a rod D here, and I apply a torque, and the D is moved to here. This is nothing but the torsional shear strain in simple way. So that how much theta is increases, that much the shear strain also is increases. Okay, if theta is 0, shear strain is 0. So see here, book definition, what it explained. Consider a solid shaft of a length L and radius R fixed at one end, and the subjected to, it is fixed at one end, then it is twisted. Okay, subjected to the torque T, and at the other end, as the resultant of the application of the torque T, the shaft will get twisted, and every cross section of the shaft will be subjected to this some shear stress. Let the line AB on the shaft, sorry, here not AB, it is CD. Let the line CD on the surface of the shaft is defined by the C dash, means here it is C and D dash before applying a torque. After applying a torque, what it will changes C to D dash. Okay, that's, here is the angle is making, that is the phi angle, right? Hope you guys have understood everything, and thank you so much for watching my video.